Yeah. Shit. I ain't gonna be able to get no haircut.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Wish I did, but I don't.
All right. We are live, baby.
Okay, hey, I'm good with me.
And welcome back, everybody, to 3GW. Here, talk some Black Adam, Death Adam. Drew Big E and Rob the Ambassador here to do this quick movie review. How you feeling, man? I know I saw your message in the fantasy football chat earlier. I know you're disgruntled, but
Yeah, man. Well, actually, I sent that before the Broncos actually won today. They played.
okay.
The game was in London. They played at about 8:30 this morning. They actually won, and they actually looked halfway decent doing it. Now, it was only against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, like the Broncos, also had a 2-5 record coming into this game. But the Broncos were able to pull out the win, and I think after that we had lost like 4 in a row, so it feels good to get a win.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, Russell Wilson resembled Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a video of him kind of getting his mind right before the game. So maybe it worked.
Where's that shit been all season?
Mm.
Where's his mind been the rest of the games?
Who knows? But my question is, where was your mind when you walked out of the theater the other day after watching Black Adam starring Dwayne Johnson? This movie has been in production since 2007, I believe. That's when he, or 2006. That's when he very first got the part, so to speak, and it just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And he had to fight. I think he pretty much paid for this movie to get made.
Well, he and his ex-wife Danny Garcia were a couple of the producers.
Yeah, so that tells you right there that now that he has his own film production, he has more power to greenlight these things. But there is one thing I wonder, and I'll get to it in a little bit while we talk about the movie. I know when the trailer came out, we all saw it. I was kind of on it. Just looked like everything else we've seen. And I was kind of suspicious. Like, are they really going to keep true to the Black Adam character? Are they going to really make Dwayne a heel, a bad guy that's going to kill? And how do you promote? I mean, they did it with Joker. They pulled it off with Joker, but this was PG-13. So how are you going to do Black Adam? Now, the Black Adam I know growing up as a kid was a straight up bad guy. In the early 90s, they revamped his character and they made him more of an anti-hero, kind of like Venom, where he does some good, but the way he does his good is by killing. So it's that whole anti-hero thing. And at the time when The Rock first got the part, he still had hair, and it looked like, okay, yeah, you could do this. Without getting too far into it, I thought that I probably would have appreciated him being, Black Adam is pretty much Superman, all the powers of Superman plus the lightning. And I was kind of, and the movie had more of an ethnic take on it, with it being Black Adam and being in Kahndaq, which is actually true to the comic, from what I understand. And I just kind of wish he would have tried some range, tried an accent, tried to make this character stand out a little more. But I'll get into it in a little bit. Yeah, before you went to the theater, what were did you anticipate it? Did you have expectations? Were they high, or were they just kind of like, eh?
The only expectations I had were based on the trailer. I was not familiar with the comic. I didn't know anything about Black Adam. I do get a little tired of, all of the black superheroes having black in their name. I mean, we can see you're black. You don't have to.
Well, he's not the actual character, not black.
Yeah, I guess maybe it had nothing to do with his color. I guess, but it just, The Rock is black and he's playing Black Adam.
Is he?
Well, his dad is.
I know. I'm just saying, he never
his daddy
plays
is.
black.
So, hey, you know what that means. You know what that means. If
He never plays
you
black,
Part
though.
black, you black.
Right.
But yeah, that just a little quick pet peeve of mine. But yeah, no. As far as my expectations for the movie, the trailer didn't blow me away. It looked okay, but DC for me is kind of dicey. There's only been a few DC comic movies that I've really enjoyed. So I'm just always kind of nervous when it's a DC movie. That's what gave me pause more than anything.
Yeah. Okay. So, like we did with Halloween Ends, we'll go pros first. I like that he did kill, and they did the introduction. He knocking people off left and right when they first start, and I was like, okay. And I like the power utilization, his super speed. They showed that off right away. He was very stoic. Like he I don't think he smiled at all. Like one time in this movie. if he did, I missed it. I liked I did like some of the humor. I know they tried to kind of mix it up so it wasn't so serious. I can't remember the character's name. Let me see if I can pull it up. But the guy that was like driving the van, he had me cracking up. Like I
oh yeah, the electrician.
Yeah, he was great.
Kareem,
I enjoyed his character.
Yeah, I think his name was Kareem. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Kareem, played by Muhammad Amer. Yeah. He had me cracking up. Especially when he was singing in the van by himself.
Yeah, singing the old 70s Baby Come Back song. I guess he had just gone through a breakup with his woman, so he was feeling the pain and listening to some old 70s.
Yeah, I mean, kind of some of it felt a little forced, but the guy played it right to me. Excuse me. Dr. Fate, Pierce Brosnan, I thought was great in this. Probably outside Black Adam, my favorite character. I really enjoyed his character. His dialogue was great. He didn't get anything cheesy. He was the smartest person in the movie. A lot of people probably going to compare him to Doctor Strange because of the power set, but I've known about Dr. Fate. And quick history lesson: this group, the Justice, the JAL, something like that. My mind's blank. It's been a long day. JAS. The JAS was around before the Justice League, so a lot of people didn't know that. That was one of the other reasons Dwayne wanted to do this movie, was to introduce JAS, Hawkman, Dr. Fate. He also had Atom Smasher, who I'm not too familiar with, and Cyclone. I don't know anything about Cyclone.
They weren't in the comic?
They were. I'm just not familiar with them. I know I liked Aldous Hodge playing Hawkman. I think a lot of people know who Hawkman is from the cartoon they had back in the day, Justice League cartoon. So yeah, I like Aldous Hodge's character, like how he played it, like the dynamic between him and Black Adam. And when he was always kind of disciplining Atom Smasher. You and me.
You and me. Yeah.
I thought that was great. What else? The action was. This wasn't a run of the mill. It kind of was, I guess, in some standpoints. I thought that the opening and the action scene lasted way longer than most superhero movies do. Well, most of the time, you get introduced to them, and there's this long pause, and then you get another action scene, pause, and then you get the climax, right? This was kind of like first act, first and second act felt like they blended together, and to me, they were the best parts of the movie. Um, like a lot of the action, most of the CG worked. Some of the CG with Teth Adam when he was giving the backstory, that didn't work for me. The body on the head, that didn't work for me.
Well, it's funny, man. They had to use the CGI to make The Rock look scrawny.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that just didn't look right. I don't know if it was just bad CGI or it was just hard. We know how big The Rock really is. It was
right.
just hard seeing his head on this, and it wasn't a scrawny body. It just wasn't nearly as muscular as what The Rock is.
Yeah, and I guess they designed a costume for him the first time, and had the padded muscles in it. And he said, "Nah, nah, 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 nah. Take all that shit out. I'm gonna I'm gonna make myself big enough, and it's just that's all him."
Yeah, it is. Yeah, man.
And I mean,
And I think it's better for that.
yeah, yeah. And there's another hero who also got big enough, but I think they still padded out his suit, but we'll get to him in a little bit. That's about it for as much as positives for me. That I can think of at the moment. So I'm gonna throw it to you.
Well, for me, look, it's hard, and I am not familiar with the comic. Once again, I will say that, but I know you mentioned how, I guess in the comic he was a killer, not really a hero, more of an anti-hero. That's a hard thing to carry off because obviously you're building the movie around this character, and you have to make him somewhat likable. I mean, you don't just want to bring people to the theater to see him just killing people, right? I mean, so I actually thought they carried that off pretty well. The people he look, he did kill some people, but they always found a way to justify it, and the whole story kind of revolved around, some injustices that was done to him and to his people, and so you basically they were just justifying all of the people he was killing. Most of the people he were killing were people we were okay with him killing.
Yeah,
I don't think he killed one person that we were like, oh wow, why him or why her. I enjoyed some of the humor. I sometimes I don't always like a too much of a mixture of humor with my action or with my horror, but I thought here it worked. And we talked about the character of Kareem. I thought he was very likable. Sometimes with these characters, they go too far, trying to make them so likable and so funny. I thought he rode the line, but didn't cross it. And I thought the special effects were pretty good. For the most part, I thought they were real good. It's hard with CGI these days. It's such a high bar now because you can do almost anything with CGI. I didn't feel like anything looked real hokey or funny. I thought I bought into all of it. I like you, Pierce Brosnan, also probably my second favorite character to Adam. But Aldous Hodge, I'm just a big fan of his. I'm glad to see him in a movie. This is probably the biggest or most popular movie he's been in outside of Straight Outta Compton, where people will notice him. He was actually, and I don't know if you ever saw The Invisible Man. He was actually in that, and that's another. Yeah. I actually enjoyed that. But I'm glad to see him get probably what is his biggest stage as far as a movie. So for me, going into this movie, I didn't have very high expectations, and I had actually heard some mixed reviews, which kind of made me nervous, but I'm always I'm just going to go check it out for myself. And I was actually pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
I also liked there was that scene because Hawkman, the whole movie's trying to get Black Adam. Like, you gotta stop killing. All right, look, man, we trying to work. We trying to work with you, bro. But you gotta stop killing people. He's like, yeah, okay. He had those two soldiers that he was trying to get information from. He flies up in the sky, and he's like, whoever doesn't talk, I'm gonna drop. And Hawkman flies up with him, and he's like, don't kill them. he drops them both anyway.
But Hawkman did save them both.
Hawkman saved them. He's
so
like,
he didn't actually
you
kill
please
them.
stop killing. He's like, they look alive to me.
You're right.
He's like, yeah, because I saved them. It's like, hey, look, man, I flew them up there. I waited till you got there. I got the information I needed. You saved them. I did it your way. And Pierce Brosnan got the face like, you got a point.
Well, right.
Yeah, so
That's
I did like that.
Look, I would have been okay if the dudes would have just fell to the ground and splatted. I would have been okay with that. But most moviegoers probably would not have. So that's what I mean, is that you want him to be this anti-hero. You want to be true to the character, but at the same time, it's a movie. Your lead character has to be likable. You just can't have him just murdering people.
It's a fish out of water story, but I really enjoyed that scene. I thought that was very well written instead of being like, I like how they did the play on like sarcasm.
Yeah.
He said, I think he was talking to Dr. Fate, and he was like, he wasn't gonna kill. It's like, yeah, that was sarcasm. He was like, no, that was just a lie.
Yeah. And another thing, the casting in this movie, obviously we had the familiar faces. We've talked about Pierce Brosnan and Aldous Hodge, but we also had some new faces, people who I didn't know. They added to the cast, and I thought all of them, the young boy and I'm sorry, people, I'm looking at Google because some of these names, but the young boy who skateboarded, who played Aman, and I believe his name is Bodhi Sabangu. I hope I'm saying the name correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, he had a good dynamic. I kind of like his interaction with Black Adam when Adam first he comes out of the cave. They don't conjure him, but they get the crown and he comes out, and then he ends up in dude's bedroom. He's just laying in dude's bedroom.
Well, yeah, because Adriana summoned him.
Right.
She was about to get killed.
Right.
And he had been in prison for 5,000 years. So she summoned him, and he went crazy, and then he got hit with a rocket that had, Lord have mercy. I'm not trying to get to my negatives just yet, but a element that's his weakness. So hence him waking up in the boy's bedroom. Okay. Get to the real. First problem I have, and I hate this why we had to do this, is I roll my eyes in the back of my head. I'm like, fucking kidding me. I did not enjoy the Amon character at all. The whole
you didn't like the little boy?
It was way too Terminator 2-ish. You need a catchphrase. You need to say this. You need to do that. It's like ripped straight from Terminator 2. Like, come on.
I agree that it was very reminiscent of Terminator 2, but it still worked for me.
His dialogue was terrible. I mean, the character could have been done well had his dialogue been better. And then there was the point in the climax, he's trying to rile up the people of the city, and he's speaking so soft, like they can't hear you. Nobody could hear you over there. And I don't know if it was my theater or if it was the way this movie was cut. I had a hard time hearing people's names and some of the dialogue in general. It took me. There's some people in the movie I still don't know their name, because they don't really mention them. If they do, they mention them in passing. The only names you hear over and over again is Teth Adam, Dr. Fate, Hawkman. I think they mentioned Adam Smasher once. I didn't know what the chick name was, Cyclone. I didn't know her name until I left the movie. So, yeah.
That's a good point. The movie did have a huge cast of characters, and it was, and not all of them were very well developed. I mean,
No,
they tried, but you've got a 2 hour span to introduce us to all of these characters, and this movie just wasn't able to really pull it off because, yeah, like you, I don't know half of the people's names. I'm pulling up Google and IMDb to
right.
get their names because in the movie, I
I couldn't
couldn't
hear.
grasp all of them. Yeah, I just couldn't get them all. There were so many characters.
Um, I don't. I never have a good feeling when the movie opens up and it's like 10 minutes of exposition. If you got to go that damn deep, I I, I just feel there's a better way than giving a history lesson for 10 minutes. It was a long ass opening, and it's all backstory.
But see, I think for people like me who aren't familiar with the comic, and I knew nothing about Black Adam coming into this film, it helps a little bit. But like you, maybe 10 minutes is too long, maybe six, seven. But
And it was convoluted. It was complicated. All these different. I'm not bashing on them um using that nationality, that race. It's just get to the point. I guess is the best way I can put it. Just kind of get through this. It was so convoluted, and then when I saw there was a MacGuffin for another MacGuffin later on, it's like this is a fish out of water story chasing a MacGuffin, and I just I don't know. I had a problem with that. The last thing, the third act, this movie fell off a cliff. Okay, the first, second act, I was enjoying it. I was kind of into it, and then it just felt like we got to do the thing, right? We got to take away the main character's powers, and then we have to have the bad guy come up, and yeah, he's attacking Kondak, and I don't understand. Is he supposed to be Satan? Like, is that the whole point? I didn't really understand the whole point of the crown, the MacGuffin with the crown. It wasn't hammered home enough for me. I guess is my point. Maybe I need to watch it again. Because I probably missed some. I took the kids to see it, so I probably missed some of the dialogue. But it just felt like every other superhero movie where we gotta have the third act CGI action scene. And that CGI on that dude was terrible. He looked
yeah,
like a straight cartoon character.
I actually thought, when they took away his powers and everything, to be honest, I got to be honest with you, and maybe I just had enough. I actually thought the movie was over at that point. And then all of a sudden, like you said, the villain comes and, oh, now Adam's got to get his powers back. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, so we got another, what, 15, 20 minutes, I guess. Um,
Yeah, Ishmael.
man, the third act to me probably is the thing I least enjoyed. But it didn't ruin the movie for me. But I could have done without it if they would have wrapped it up a little sooner.
Yeah, this guy, and I kept looking at him like I know him from something. And he was an asshole in that movie too. And I was like, oh, Aladdin. He was Jafar in the live action Aladdin that they did. Will Smith.
Oh, I never watched it.
Uh, he played Jafar. And guess what? At the end of that movie, he was a giant CGI monster too. So he literally is.
Maybe that's in his contract or something.
It's he's literally the almost the same character in this movie as he is in that one. He's trying to get power. He's like he dies to get the power, just like in Aladdin where he's Jafar and he's trying to be the most powerful human being on earth. Like it's the same shit. So it's like, and he's red in that movie too.
These are some interesting parallels.
Yeah,
He needs
but they
power.
facts.
CGI, he's red.
Go watch Aladdin and watch the very end of Aladdin and go watch the end of this movie. You'd be like, and put them side by side. You go, damn, it's the
That's a hell
same.
of a coincidence.
It is. I did like, how he defeated I don't know got named the character, but the final boss, I guess, out of a video game. I like how he defeated him. But the thing with this movie, they never really. I felt like they made Black Adam soft. He kind of said it too. He's not gonna, you know, just kill to kill for killing's sake, and he's gonna protect conduct. And that just, it's like y'all made him soft. Well, kind of like they did Boba Fett. They made him soft.
But man, it's a movie. It's different in a comic. In a movie, you can't just have some people aren't just going to pay to see some dude just kill a bunch of people and he's the star of the movie. That's just
I
not going to
would
work.
agree with you 1,000% if they didn't do what they did after the movie and set that whole thing up. Because we had a thing with Amanda Waller showing up and saying, you need to stay your ass in conduct. Don't come out. Which is like, why would you tell somebody not to do something? That'll be the first thing they're going to do. And it's just like, okay, we're not going to listen to me. Maybe you'll listen to him. And then we finally get the return of Henry Cavill reprising his role as Superman and got the little, got the score and everything. John Williams score. That would be more impactful if he was being a threat. He's not even being a threat. He's just protecting conduct. He didn't threaten the rest of the world, which is why I'm saying like he should have been more of a threat to the point that Amanda Waller would call Superman. But it's just like, I don't know. I like the return. I like seeing them face to face. It looks cool. The other problem with this is that once The Rock became big time again, he has it in his contract with these movies that he can't lose any fights. He can't barely. I think sometimes he has it in there. He can't even get hit, which is the complete opposite of what the action heroes I grew up watching did. Wesley Snipes, Stallone, Van Damme, they all got their ass whooped because they had to overcome something. But if you never lose a fight and you just always win, well, how can I get invested in you? So if they do a Superman vs. Black Adam movie, I'm there to see it. But I can't get that invested because if I already know ahead of time, he ain't gonna lose.
Do you want him to lose?
If he's gonna fight Superman, Superman's supposed to be Superman. Only person, two people to beat
Superman lost to Batman.
That was in the comic. He did lose Batman, but Batman had to use kryptonite.
Batman ain't even like a look. Book ain't here. He'd get mad, but
but that's how he won.
Batman's not really like a superhero. You know what I mean? He don't have superpowers.
Right. He had to use kryptonite to beat Superman. That's how he did it.
Right.
And the only person to straight up beat Superman was Doomsday.
Right.
Which they did.
I do know about that.
But I'm there to see it. I just wish that he would take that out of his contract because to me, it's contradictory. Why do action and you got these cool actors and that are your size that you could go toe to toe with, and you can't take a punch. That's like Mission Impossible when Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise
that was a good scene.
Man.
Yeah, that was.
But you have to have that point where otherwise, if you're invincible, what's the point? Well, it's just like wrestling.
Yeah, I didn't know The Rock had that in his contract. I mean, to me, it makes me think The Rock is a bit of an egomaniac that you can't take an ass beating even in pretend. But like I said, none of it really bothered me in this movie because he's the superhero. I didn't figure he would take too many beatdowns anyway. I don't even know. A lot of times when they do these credit scenes, that's not necessarily the sequel. Now, if that is the sequel, like you, I'd be all about it. But depending on, look, if he fights Superman, he ain't just going to beat Superman down. The Rock's going to have to take some losses. I just think they changed that. I don't think Black Adam just beats down Superman. You can't do that to Superman.
Yeah, that's why I was like I want to see it, but it's like You gotta take that out your contract, dude. Like, there's not. Why do you think it makes you look soft?
And like I said, Superman's already lost to Batman. How many losses you going to have Superman take?
Right. So it's just I don't know. You that egotistical where you can't lose a fight in a movie. It's not like you lost. Okay, have it in there. You can't lose the climax fight, but you could lose the mid fight because that's how you. How many times does Stallone in these Rocky movies lose a fight or?
No, not many. He lost in Rocky 3. That's the only fight I saw him lose. Rocky 3. And how many Rocky movies was there?
Okay,
Six or seven?
That's a bad example. But you know what I'm saying. There's a point where the protagonist gets knocked down in the movie, and then he has to overcome something. Well, if you don't have to overcome anything other than yourself, that's cool and all sometimes. But this is every movie. Like he never. If you have you seen Red Notice?
No.
He's indestructible, and he's just a regular person.
Well, shit. In real life, I
It's
mean,
like,
there ain't too many people who's gonna beat The Rock down, even in real life.
He got ran over by a bull
Oh, okay. No,
and
see
got
that.
up like
Okay.
ain't
Well, that's
shit.
ridiculous. Okay, I didn't see. Now I don't even need to watch that. Sounds dumb. I mean, you getting run over by a bull,
I was like, really?
but Gal Gadot's in it, so that might be enough.
Really? Ah, man. But overall, I did get enjoyment out of this movie. It was for, like you said, DC wise, one of the better ones. I still enjoyed Aquaman more than I enjoyed this. I did. I like James Wan as a director. I thought that movie was way more immersive, way bigger scale, and it was.
I didn't hate Aquaman, but I wasn't crazy about it either.
To me, it was easy. It was fun. It was way more fun than this. Not that this was bad. Like I said, I enjoyed Aldous Hodge, Pierce Brosnan. I did like The Rock as Black Adam. I just wish he would have kind of. If only I had the only critique I would have given him was just, really get into the ethnic background and maybe come with an accent because you're in the Middle East and you're speaking perfect American English, no accent. That's all I'm saying. I will give it. I'll give this movie a B minus. I give it a B minus.
Yeah, I'm gonna go C. I enjoyed it, and when it comes out on Blu-ray or 4K, I'll buy it. But it didn't blow me away. But I went in with such low expectations because I had heard some mixed reviews. I had heard some bad reviews, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So a C.
Yeah.
Wasn't great.
Third act was what really brought it down for me. I thought the first two acts was good, and the boy. I can't stand the boy.
Well, I didn't hate the boy, but the parallels with that, immediately I thought of Terminator 2 when he's saying, "Hey, you need a catchphrase, you need." I immediately thought of Terminator 2, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And then he kept getting it wrong throughout the movie, telling the man in black, "Oh shit, you did already."
Yeah.
And then he finally gets it at the end, and it's just like, okay.
I thought it was funny though. I know that it wasn't attempted humor. I thought it was okay, even though it was reminiscent of Terminator 2, but not the first time we've seen movies do that sort of thing, kind of paying homage or borrowing from another movie. That happens all the time.
Yeah. And I'll say this too, give the movie another compliment. A lot of times these movies introduce a group and it's supposed to be a solo movie. They get overshadowed by the group. I didn't think that happened this time. I thought they did a good job keeping the focus on Black Adam. So kudos to them for that. The only downside to that is that Atom Smasher and Cyclone kind of get pushed to the back because there wasn't a whole lot for them to do.
No, but I thought they gave them enough to do. It wasn't like they were side notes. I thought they, we talked about the dynamic between Aldous Hodge and Atom Smasher. Cyclone, a little bit less to do, but like I said, none of them were side notes. I thought they all had parts that were memorable.
Okay. What did you all think? Did you enjoy the movie? Were you spoiled? Oh, that's the question. Did you know about the post credit mid credit scene? I mean,
Who, me? About
yeah.
the
Did you know
Superman
about
scene?
Superman coming back?
No, I didn't, because that's why I text you during the movie. Like, do I need to stay?
Oh,
Because when I
okay.
watched the Batman, I stayed for all the credits and left pissed off because there wasn't nothing. Um, but yeah, you had told me to stay for the mid credit and then after that to leave. So,
Right.
but you didn't tell me what the credit was, and when I saw it,
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no,
oh
no. I
wow,
wouldn't
that's
do
pretty
that.
cool. I was glad I stayed for it.
Yeah, but see, it was the internet's worst kept secret, and actually, The Rock was the one kind of spoiling it in all the interviews and promotion he was doing. They were asking about the movie and what can you tell us, and he was like, "Hey, well,
See, I didn't pay any attention to any of that. I read a couple of reviews and that was it. And
well, he
like
never
I said,
said the verbatim. He never said Superman. He just kind of beat around the bush, and it was kind of like, really." Because if anybody in Marvel would have said the shit he was saying, they got executed.
oh wow, DC is different, man. I mean, they don't do it as good as Marvel does. But like I said, of the DC movies I've seen, well, this wouldn't be near the top. Probably, like I said, I saw the Batman earlier this year, and I love that. Just got that 4K, and
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, but yeah, C for me, which is good enough. Not great, but that's good enough.
yeah. Not. Oh my god. I think about the bad DC movies, like the first Justice League, like the first Suicide Squad. Terrible. You know.
Yeah, I own the Zack Snyder cut, and I still have not watched it because I just don't seem to get a 4 hour block of time. There's always
They
some.
were smart. They do break it up into like segments.
Okay.
So it'll say part. I don't know how they labeled it, but it's broken up in parts. So you can like watch a part, wait for that credit, and you can stop it, and then break it up into four different hours. I think it's that like at the hour mark each time. So they break it up well, but it does tell the story a lot better, and it makes a lot more sense than the first one they put out. Who had all these? They had a lot of studio mandates. That's why that one was so bad.
Mm.
But yeah, man. Appreciate you all watching or listening. However you take in your 3GW, we appreciate you all. Let us know in the comment section down below what you thought of Black Adam if you checked it out already. And guys, I guess we got one more day to squeeze out a couple horror movie reviews. Clive Barker's we both went with Clive Barker this year, which is kind of interesting. We did Hellraiser, which is getting some good feedback, and then you chose Candyman, which I actually have watched twice now since we talked about it. But I'll be good to go. If you if you're ready tomorrow, I'll be good to go. Um, that and then Saturday is Crown Jewel.
Jewel.
So some point this week we'll be doing a prediction show, and post show will be Saturday evening. So yeah, got Roman Reigns and Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, his brother Jake.
I say, did you see the Jake
I
Paul?
did, yeah. His brother. That, man, that was an entertaining fight. But he did knock down the Spider in the final round, and Jake won a unanimous decision. I thought it was closer than the judges thought, but I did think Jake won.
Okay. I saw Le'Veon Bell won his fight too, but
No, he lost his fight. He
he
lost a
lost.
decision. No, he lost a decision to Uriah Hall. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, what I saw on social media made it seem like he won.
Oh, okay. No, he lost, but he lost by decision. I mean, and Uriah Hall is a former UFC competitor. So, Le'Veon, the fact that Le'Veon could even hang with him and get a decision says something for him.
Yes,
And
he
we
knocked
saw what
out
he did to
Adrian
Adrian
Peterson.
Peterson, had Adrian wondering where he was and who he was.
Yeah. Knocked Adrian Peterson on his ass.
Oh, man, that brother's eyes got big. And next thing
Yeah.
you know, he's on the canvas.
And it can't too many people say they ever knocked out Adrian Peterson. That's a tough dude.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, y'all. Take it easy. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Hit us up on those social medias. Instagram, Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. Twitter, podcast_third. Email us at thirdgenwrestling@gmail.com. And TikTok, Third Generation Wrestling Pod. Appreciate you all. Take care. Have a great week, Ambassador.
Oh, well, Big E, you stole my thunder. That's what I always say. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Listen, all the platforms and everything. Yeah, and we appreciate the comments. I know one's name is SP4. His is
SP4. Yeah, shout out, brother. He always
shout out to you.
Yes.
Shout out to all the people leaving comments. One of you had a long one that ended in 1966. Makes me wonder if you were born the same year I was. So hit us back up and let me know.
Yeah. I think I saw that one too. Yes. Appreciate you all with the comments. Shout out to SP4. We appreciate you, bro. And we'll catch y'all.